Shavua Tov, Agutavoch, and welcome to our program. We are in the middle of the month of Elul, and it's known that Elul is a Rosh Tevis, Ani L'Deidi V'Deidi Li. I am to my beloved, Almighty God, and my beloved is to me. Wonderful. Nevertheless, there's a question. Ani L'Deidi V'Deidi Li is a posuk in Shir HaShirim. In the same Shir HaShirim, there's another posuk, Deidi li va'ani le, which means my beloved turns to me and I turn to him. And then there is a question, which way is it? Is it ani l'deidi v'deidi li, that I turn to my beloved and he turns to me, or I wait until my beloved turns to me, deidi li va'ani le, which way is it? And they are both psukim in Shir HaShirim. We will return to that in a moment. But first, our customary story. Our customary story today is perhaps special because it's not really a story, but it is most interesting. Many people ask that every year, the Rosh Tevis of the year, we know Tov Pei Tehei Shnas Pedusenu. What does Tov Pei Alef stand for? And of course, fantasy works. Many people can come up with different kinds of Rosh Tevis. Some that are obvious, some that are not obvious. Some use a little more fantasy, less fantasy. But we don't have to fantasize. The Rebbe answered specifically the Rosh Tevis for Tov Shin Pei Alef of all years. For this year, the Rebbe already answered. We open up a Sefer HaSichos, Tov Shin Nun Alef, page 214. It's in Hagoah. The Hagoah is 94. The Hagoah is 94. It's right over here. The Hagoah is 94. And look what the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says like this, that the capital Pei Alef, Pei first, and Alef is the opposite of a word. Alefei. Alefei means af. Af means anger, wrath. Pei Alef is the opposite of anger, because it's not Alef Pei, it's Pei Alef. It's contrary and the opposite and contradicts anger. So the Rebbe says like this, that what does Pei Alef stand for? He gives you the Rosh Tevis for this year. Rosh Tevis ploys alenu. I must tell you, absolutely wondrous. The Rosh Tevis Pei Alef Tehei Shnas ploys alenu for this year. So the Rebbe tells us what Tov Shin Pei Alef stands for. Tehei Shnas ploys alenu. Tehei means it should be, Shnas it should be the year, ploys of wonders, alenu that we should be able to see it. Now, moreover, the Rebbe explains, what does it mean? It's not only a Rosh Tevis for the year, it also tells us something, that this year will transform the Af. Af is anger. Af is Golus. And this year will transform the Golus to Plois Alenu. It's not only going to be the year of Plois Alenu, that Almighty God is going to show us wonders and the ultimate wonders. As in the days of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. However, this is even more. This is Plois Alenu, that is going to contradict, and not only contradict, overturn and transform the Af, the Aleph, and the Pei, which means it will transform the Golus into Geula. In other words, in the Rebbe's words, Sheikar ha'adgosha hi al hagilui le'enei bosor alenu. In other words, it's not only going to be ploys, it could be wonders. However, the wonders remain in the heavenly heights, and we don't see them. So here it's going to be in a form where the ploys are going to be revealed. The wonders are going to be revealed. Al enu, they will be revealed, that everyone will be able to see them. This is why we say, B'tev hanira ve'hanigle. So the good should not only be appropriated from the heavens. Nevertheless, it will remain someplace in the pipeline, and it will not reach the earth. B'tev hanira ve'hanigle means that we should be able to see the good with our very own eyes. And that's exactly what the Rebbe says here. Not only in the spiritual sense that we are going to be told that they are wonders, but our eyes of meat, Einei Bosor, will not be able to see it. The Rebbe says that's not the case. This is going to be ploys. This is going to be wonders, alenu, that we are going to see be'enei bosor, mit fleischike Augen, as you say in Yiddish, which means with eyes of flesh, betev hanira ve'hanglida, in goodness, that we will be able to, that will be revealed, and that we will be able to see with our very, very, very own eyes. I must tell you, Rabbi Say, that this is absolutely wondrous. 30 years ago, because the Rebbe equates it with Shin Alef, Teishnas al enu niflois. And here it's even more niflois alenu. Not only, so this is 30 years ago, the Rebbe already told us about this year. This is even more, because this transforms the golos, the difficulty, the negative into positive. It transforms the af to pay Alef, plois alenu. Rabbi say, you can't say enough about this. This is the Rebbe telling us something about this year. Tov, Shin, Pei, Alef. Habo aleinu val kol Yisrael letevo. Tehei, Shnas, plois alenu. And not only that, at the Gilui should be alenu. Le'enei bosel, we should be able to see it with our very, very own eyes. And not spiritual eyes, physical eyes. Gesundheit und Verleilichkeit, Tekef umiyad mamish. Now, going back to our question. We have a question that whoever learns Shir HaShirim will ask, is it Anile Deidi v'Deidi Li, or is it Deidi Li v'Anile? Moreover, there will be a Jew, maybe a little bit of a smart aleck Jew, who will say, Apostle in Shir HaShirim, Deidi Li v'Anile, that let my beloved turn to me, and then I will turn to him. And I'm waiting. No, he's taking his time. That's his thing. I'm waiting. Chassidus explains that the way to understand this dichotomy between Anila Deidi and Deidi Li is to understand that there are two kinds of movements. They're both movements are absolutely true. However, one movement is Ani L'Deidi v'Deidi Li, and that is Milmato L'Mailo, from down upwards. Known in Sforim of Kabbalah, it's called Isaruso Diltato. An awakening, Isaruso Ahiselus, that comes Diltato from the ground, from below. In other words, the person is the one who makes the first step. It's not that he's going to sit relaxed on his chair and say, well, if Almighty God wants me, he would send me from above. He would send me an awakening. He would send me a wake-up call. And until then, I'm going to relax on my chair, on my couch. I'll do whatever I can. I'm going to wait for that wake-up call. Now, if we're lucky, that wake-up call will come, but not necessarily so. The Isarusa Dil Eile sometimes comes, and many times doesn't. So therefore, there is another order, and that is Milmato Lemaila, that we start, Ani L'Deidi v'Deidi Li, We start. And then it's going to be reciprocal from Almighty God, that then it's going to be Deidili Vanile. And not only that, it's not only going to be Deidili Vanile, that he's going to reciprocate what we started. He will respond. He will respond rather. However, it's going to be Deidili Vanile. He will respond in a way that is greater than our own awakening, because it's going to be his awakening, the awakening that comes from above, which is much greater than what we can offer. So what we are telling, what Almighty God is telling us, is like the Medrash says, Pischuli ke pische shel machat. You open up for him, for me. How much opening are you going to give me? Pische shel machat. The opening in a needle. How great is the hole in a needle? Vani eftach lechem ke pische shel ulam. And I will open for you ke pische shel ulam, like the opening of a great shal, of a great hall, of a great door. So you give me an opening that is almost invisible, and I will give you the opening of the great gates. Now one is going to think, how much more is the opening of the great gate bigger than the opening of the needle? If you're going to measure, it can be thousands and thousands of times greater and more. Nevertheless, Almighty God says, I need you to make that first step. It's not going to be a step of God. It's going to be a step of man. And it's going to be limited. Because we are limited. We can't take a step of God. We're only mortal human beings. So it's going to be a limited step. Nevertheless, in reciprocity, what we are getting is Pische shel ulam. We're getting the opening of the great gates, of the great floodgates of heaven. Nevertheless, we have to make the first step. Now, there's still a question. Do we make the first step, or maybe we should wait? What is the Rosh Hashanah of Elul? The Rosh Hashanah of Elul is not the Deidili Vanile. The Rosh Hashanah of Elul is Anila Deidi V'Deidili. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me, which means that I have to make that first step. Why? Because Chassidus explains, when the awakening comes from above, and when it comes, and sometimes it does come, because the neshama heard a baskol, or for a certain schus, sometimes it does come, and it's great, because it's a salusa dilelo. It comes from the heavenly heights. But Chassidus calls that awakening, however great, however noble, however exalted, Chassidus calls it in simple terms, nahamo dichsufo, shameful bread. Shameful bread. You didn't work on it. You didn't work. You got it for nothing. And if something that you didn't work for and just received as a gift, nahamo dichsufo, shameful bread. Bread that you did not earn. You just got it. Nevertheless, if it's the Avedes Bekeach Atzmei that you started, Chassidus explains that's the Tachlis HaKavona. That's the ultimate reason for your existence. That you should come to this world, and you should work with this world, and you should transform this world with your will. So you have to start. But once you start, however small, you are going to get not only a response in reciprocity, you are going to get an original, a great, such a response that is, who knows how many thousands of times greater than your own first little step. Moreover, the Rebbe says, Ani l'deidi v'deidi li is not only the way to go, it's also a promise. Ani l'deidi. If you make that first step, then there's a promise, there's going to be reciprocation. However, that first step has to be. And what does Anila Deidi mean? What kind of step is that? We said it's a small step. Nevertheless, it's a step, however small, that's indicative of the entire person. Ani. What is my ani? The Rebbe even said it in Yiddish. Was is mein ich? What is my I? What am I? The I that I am, that I am giving to Almighty God. In other words, very small, but also very, very large. The entire I, however small, but that I am giving away completely to God. Ani ledeidi. I am giving myself away to Almighty God. And once that happens, v'deidi, then it's not only a step forward, it's a promise, v'deidi, that Almighty God will reciprocate. So the month of Elul, the Rosh Hashanah of Elul is not Deidi v'anile. The month of Elul is Anile Deidi because the Tachlis HaKavona is Aveda B'keach Atzmei. The ultimate purpose is our own work. This is what we were sent to this world. Not doing our own work, Malachim are the same. Malachim are not doing their own work. They're programmed to do good things. Spoken on this program before. However, we are Neshomis, and we are given that advantage that we have that power to make our first step. And once we make our first step, however little, Almighty God will reciprocate His way with a capital H. Kepischei shelulam, like the gates of like great gates of a great shah, of a great gate. And you can imagine how many times bigger is that than the opening of a needle. Nevertheless, the opening of the needle has to precede, has to be first. Shalom and hope from Rebbe say. This is going to be a special year. You see it from the Rebbe in every way. A special year, you don't find a year that the Rebbe wrote already the Rosh Hashanah for the year. This is really an exception. Tov, Shin, Pei, Alef, Tehei, Shnas, Ployes Alenu. That there's going to be a year of wonders, and not only that, and this as mentioned before, this will contradict and overturn and transform the Alef Langefei, the Af, the anger, the wrath of Golus, and it will transform the wrath of Golus to Geulo, to the Gulo Amitis V'Yashlemo, Nifpei Tehei Shnas, Tehei Shnas Plois, the ultimate ploys. The ploys, the ultimate wonders. The wonder of the coming of Mashiach that we are waiting for so long. And especially this last year with all the unprecedented trouble that we saw in this last year. So this was the darkness before the great light of Tov, Shin, Pei, Alef. Tehei, Shnas, Plois alenu. Plois is wonders, alenu that we will see b'yeinei bosor. And it will overturn, as we say, the Golus into the Gulo, Emir Hashem, Gesundheit und Fröhlichkeit. ובעגולו דידן, ובשמחו ובטוב לבוב, ובטבע נראה והנגלו, למטה מעשרות טפוחים, ובחסד וברחמים, and תקף ומיד ממש.